Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Narayanam Namaskritya Naram Chaiva Narottamam Devim Saraswatim Vyasam Tato Jayamudhirayet Nashtaprayeshu Abhadreshu Nityam Bhagavata Sevaya Bhagavatiruttamaśloke Bhaktirbhavati Naistiki Om Ajnanatimirandasya Jnananjanashalakaya Chakshurunmilitam Yena Tasmai Sri Gurave Namaha Sri Chaitanya Manobhishtam Sthapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Kadamayyam Dadati Swapadantikam Namo Vishnupadaya Krishna Prishtaya Bhutale Srimate Bhaktivedanta Swami Finamine Namaste Saraswate Devi Gauravani Pracharine Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Paschatya Deshatarine Jai Sri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Sri Advaita Gadadhar Srivasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare. Hare Krishna. Reading from Śrīmad-Bhāgavatam. By His Divine Grace, A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada Ki Jai. We are reading from Canto 3, Chapter 10, Divisions of the Creation. Currently we are in the fourth section of this chapter. 10 divisions of the creation. So we are at text 17. Yeah, please continue, purport.
Purport. The demigods in the higher planets are called devas because they are all devotees of Lord Vishnu. Vishnu bhaktas pruto deva asuras tad viparyaha. All the devotees of Lord Vishnu are devas or demigods, whereas all others are asuras. That is the division of the devas and the asuras. Devas are situated in the mode of goodness of material nature, whereas the asuras are situated in the modes of passion or ignorance. The demigods or controlling deities are entrusted with departmental management of all the different functions of the material world. For example, one of our sense organs, the eye, is controlled by light. Light is distributed by the sun rays, and their controlling deity is the sun. Similarly, mind is controlled by the moon. All other senses, both for working and for acquiring knowledge, are controlled by the different demigods. The demigods are assistants of the Lord in the management of the material affairs. After the creation of the demigods, all entities are covered by the darkness of ignorance. Each and every living being in the material world is conditioned by his mentality of lording it over the resources of material nature. Although a living entity is the master of the material world, he is conditioned by ignorance by the false impression of being the proprietor of material things. The energy of the Lord called avidya is the bewildering factor of the conditioned souls. The material nature is called avidya or ignorance. But to the devotees of the Lord engaged in pure devotional service, this energy becomes vidya or pure knowledge. This is confirmed in Bhagavad Gita. The energy of the Lord transforms from Mahamaya to Yogamaya and appears to pure devotees in her real feature. The material nature, therefore, appears to function in three phases: as the creative principle of the material world, as ignorance, and as knowledge. As disclosed in the previous verse, in the fourth creation, the power of knowledge is also created. The conditioned souls are not originally fools, but by the influence of the avidya function of material nature, they are made fools, and thus they are unable to utilize knowledge in the proper channel. By the influence of darkness, the conditioned soul forgets his relationship with the Supreme Lord and is overwhelmed by attachment, hatred, pride, ignorance, and false identification, the five kinds of illusion that cause material bondage. Hare Krishna.
So here, the fifth creation is the controlling deities, which are situated in the mode of goodness, of which mind is the sum total. Sixth creation is the ignorant darkness of the living entities by which the master acts as the fool. Paropi manute anartham. In the purport, Srila Prabhupada explains that demigods and devata and demons, sura and asura, they are defined as Vishnu bhaktas smrto daivas asurastat viparyaya. Those who are in sync with the Lord, they are called as devata. Asurastat viparyaya. Those who act against the plan, against the will of the Lord, they are called as asuras. So devatas, they are situated in the mode of goodness. Asuras, they are generally in the mode of ignorance or passion. And Srila Prabhupada gives examples of a devata. Just like for the eye, the devata is the sun. For the mind, devata is the moon. And these are the assistants of the Lord in the management of material affairs. Right. Further, Srila Prabhupada explains that the living entity in the material world is contaminated by this idea of lording it over material nature. This is avidya. Originally, it is vidya, but living entity is captured by the material surrounding, and therefore that turns into avidya. Prabhupada says originally the living entity is not the fool, but he is made fool and thus unable to utilize knowledge of the knowledge in the proper channel. By the influence of the darkness, Prabhupada says, the conditioned soul forgets his relationship with the Supreme Lord, and thus overwhelmed by attachment, hatred, pride, ignorance, false identification, 5 kinds of illusions, avidya, asmita, abhinivesha, ahankar, ityadi, and thus he is tightly in the grip of material bondage. Text 18. Shadi me prakrita saraka vaikruta napi me shrunu rajo bhavo bhagavato lineyam harimedasah. Translation.
Translation: all the above are natural creations by the external energy of the Lord. Now, hear from me about the creations of Brahma, who is an incarnation of the mode of passion and who, in the matter of creation, has a brain like that of the personality of Godhead. Hare Krishna.
So now here, creations of Brahmaji will be described further. Text 19. Saptamo mukhya sargastu षड्विदस्तुषां च यः वनस्पत्यो औषधे लता त्वक्षारा विरुधोद्रुमाः. Translation.
The 7th creation is that of the immovable entities, which are of 6 kinds: the fruit trees without flowers, trees and plants, which exist until the fruit is ripe, creepers, pipe plants, creepers, which have no support, and trees with flowers and fruits.
So the 7th creation is of the immovable living entities. So who are the immovable living entities? Primarily the trees, which are of 6 kinds. Fruit trees without flowers, only fruits. Trees and plants which exist until the fruit is ripe. Third is the creepers, lata. Fourth is the pipe plants. Then the creepers which have no support. Those are the crawling creepers on the ground. And the trees with flowers and fruits. Right. So these are the 6 kind of trees. That is that these were created by the brain of the Supreme Lord, who is like Brahmaji, who is in the mode of passion, so that he can the creation is enabled. So Brahmaji in the previous verse is called as acting like the brain of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Text 20. Uttrostava samaspraya antasparsha visheshanah. Translation.
All the immovable trees and plants seek their subsistence upwards. They are almost unconscious but have feelings of pain within. They are manifested in variegatedness. Hare Krishna.
Yeah. So these immovable trees and plants seeks their subsistence upwards, right? That's why the tree you will see growing up, almost unconscious. So many times people say, That what is the difference? You are killing animals and you are killing vegetables. There is a difference, right? This is the difference. The difference is the nervous system is not developed to the extent, and therefore they are almost unconscious, but have the feelings of pain within. And therefore we say that even being vegetarian, there is a element of sin there, because still there is a pain when you are cooking even the vegetables. And when we do the offering, then it becomes karma free diet, and they are manifested in variegatedness. Text 21. तिरश्चाष्टमः सर्गा सोष्टाविंशो द्विषो अविदो भूरितमसो घ्राणज्ञाहृदवेदिनः. Translation.
The eighth creation is that of the lower species of life, and they are of different varieties, numbering 28. They are all extensively foolish and ignorant. They know their desirables by smell, but are unable to remember anything within the heart. Purport. In the Vedas, the symptoms of the lower animals are described as follows. Athe taresham pashunah ashana vipase इवाभिविज्ञानं न विज्ञातं वदन्ति न विज्ञातं पश्यन्ति न विदुः स्वस्थनं न लोकालोकौ इति यद्वा भूरि तमसो बहुरसः रुषः घ्राणेनैव जानन्ति रुद्यं प्रति स्वप्रियां वस्तु एव विन्दन्ति भोजन शयनादि अर्थं गृह्णन्ति. Lower animals have knowledge.
Wow, very good reading.
Lower animals have knowledge only of their hunger and thirst. They have no acquired knowledge, no vision. Their behavior exhibits no dependence on formalities. Extensively ignorant, they can know their desirables only by smell, and by such intelligence only can they understand what is favorable and unfavorable. Their knowledge is concerned only with eating and sleeping. Therefore, even the most ferocious lower animals, such as tigers, can be tamed simply by regularly supplying meals and accommodations for sleeping. Only snakes cannot be tamed by such an arrangement.
Yeah. The eighth creation is the lower species of life, which are 28 in numbers. Later, there is a description of all these species as well. They are extensively foolish and ignorant. So again, these are the all living entities, as soul, the proper as a human being is, as soul a divine as even the demigod, like the demigods are. But because of the covering potency of the Maya, covering potency of the gunas, three modes, they are in such a state, extensively foolish and ignorant. They know their desirables only by smell, and unable to remember anything within their heart. Right. So these are the symptoms of these living entities. In the purport, Srila Prabhupada writes, Vedas give the symptoms of lower animals, that lower animals have knowledge only of hunger and thirst. There is no acquired knowledge, there is no vision. The behavior exhibits no formalities, and they are extensively ignorant. Knowledge is, basically about ahara and nidra, and this is how all their knowledge is all about. Srila Prabhupada says when the birds get up early in the morning, they are doing all chiv, 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 chiv. And they are asking, where is food, where is food, where is food? That's it. And whenever it is, the sunset, everybody will go to sleep. So the basic instincts become very heavy on them. And Prabhupada says, and therefore one may be very most ferocious animal like a tiger, but they can be tamed very easily by supplying regular meals and accommodation for sleep. Only snakes cannot be tamed by this kind of arrangement because of the excessive grana that they have within themselves. So this was the eighth creation of the Brahmaji. Eighth creation where he is facilitating the living entities who will glide down to this level of ignorance, that they will have these kinds of bodies. Text 22. Gaurajo Mahisho Krishna Sukaro Gavayoruruhu Dvishava Pashavascheme Avirustvascha Sattamaha. Translation.
O purest Vidura. Go ahead, Mataji.
Animals, the cow, goat, buffalo, Krishna's stag, hog, Gavaya animal, deer, lamb, and camel all have 2 hoofs.
Yeah. O Sattama. Sattama is O pure devotee, O Vidura, Maitreya is saying. Of the lower animals, the cows, goat, buffalo, Krishna stag, hog, Gavaya, deer, lamb, and camel all have 2 hoofs. Okay. So this is how the next creation is. Kharashvo Shvataro Gaura Sharavas Tatha Ete Chaikashafa Kshattaha Shrunu Panchakhan Pashun. Translation.
The horse, mule, ass, gaura, sharabha, bison, and wild cow all have only 1 hoof. Now you may hear from me about the animals who have 5 nails.
Yeah. So this is now we are going to see Panchakhan Pashun, 5 nails, animals with. So these are only having Ete Chaikashapakshattaha. So they are only having only 1 hoof. And now hear about Panchakhan. Okay. Shvasrago Surgalo Bruko Vyagro Marjara Shashashallako Sinha Kapigarja Krumor Godhacha Makaradayah. Translation.
The dog, jackal, tiger, fox, cat, rabbit, sajaru, lion, monkey, elephant, tortoise, alligator, goosapa, etc. all have 5 nails in their claws. They are known as panchanakhas, or animals having 5 nails. Hare Krishna.
So these are the animals: dog, jackal, tiger, fox, cat, rabbit, lion, monkey. So these are animals which are Panchanakha. Panchanakha means having the 5 nails. So look at the description, the division of the animals that is being done in Śrīmad-Bhāgavatam. Okay, and that's why the title of this chapter is Divisions of the Creation. So many times people have problem when they see the Bhagavatam world perspective with modern science world perspective. So these are 2 different world perspectives, right? Modern science appears logical, but it is faulty because it is continuously evolving, trying to reach the ultimate. Whereas the Bhagavatam worldview is coming from the Supreme Lord and is apaurushaya, right? Text 25. Kankagridha Bakasyena Bhasha Bhalluka Barhinaha Hamsach Sarasa Chakravaka Kaka Uluka Adaya Khagaha. Translation.
The heron, vulture, crane, hawk, bhasa, bhaluka, peacock, swan, sarasa, chakravaka, crow, all and others are the birds.
So next there is creation of the birds like vulture, hawk, bhasha, peacock, swan, sarasa, so on and so forth. So this is the birds now. Text 26. Arvastrotastu navamaha kshattare kavido nrapam rajodhika karma para dukkhe cha sukhamaninaha. Translation.
The creation of the human beings who are of one species only and who stock their eatables in the belly is the 9th in the rotation. In the human race, the mode of passion is very prominent. Humans are always busy in the midst of miserable life, but they think themselves happy in all respects. Purport. The human being is more passionate than the animals, and thus the sex life of the human being is more irregular. The animals have their due time for sexual intercourse, but the human being has no regular time for such activities. The human being is endowed with a higher advanced stage of consciousness for getting relief from the existence of material miseries, but due to his ignorance, he thinks that his higher consciousness is meant for advancing in the material comforts of life. Thus, his intelligence is misused in the animal propensities, eating, sleeping, defending, and mating, instead of spiritual realization. By advancing in material comforts, the human being puts himself into a more miserable condition, but illusioned by the material energy, he always thinks himself happy even while in the midst of misery. Such misery of human life is distinct from the natural comfortable life enjoyed even by the animals. Hare Krishna.
Now the ninth creation, the ninth one, the creation of the human beings who are one species only, who stock their eatables in the belly, right? So who will put their all the eatables in the belly, and what is the very speciality of this human race? Rajo dikha, rajo adhika, very very high level of passion, karma para, dukkhecha, sukhamanina. So they are extensively in the mode of passion, constantly working, and although miserable, think themselves very happy. Dukkhecha sukhamanina. The creation of the human being, one species only, who stock their eatables in their belly. And Prabhupada says in the purport, the human beings are more passionate, and therefore their love life is far more irregulated than the animals. Like the lion will have only once a year, right? But and then similarly the other animals, it is very easy to predict that when their population will grow, which season, and but human beings, because Prabhupada says, because they are rajo adhika, they are very deeply in the mode of ignorance, more passionate than the animals. Therefore, the urge for sense gratification will be extensive and irregular. And that's why Bhagavad Gita says that, till the time of one's death, one has to control these lower desires, right? Prak Sharira Vimokshanat. Prak Sharira Vimokshanat means till the time of death, one has to control these lower instincts. Although the human being is endowed with a higher intelligence, but because of the misidentifying body to be the self, and misidentifying sense gratification as the goal of life, all this higher intelligence is diverted in ahara nidra ityadi. Right. So Prabhupada says, due to the ignorance, he thinks that the higher consciousness is meant for advancing in the material comforts of life. Sometimes people say, oh, your Vedas talk so many big things, and yogis, your sages can do such nice, amazing feats. Why India was not materially advanced? This is the reason. Because the so-called material advancement that we see in last 400 years, which is because of the industrial revolution, and then the subsequent revolutions, they came one after another, is the intelligence used or misused only to advance in material comforts. But in the spiritual life, in the human life originally is meant to use the intelligence to advance in Krishna consciousness or advance in self-realization. Prabhupada says, illusioned by the material energy, he always thinks himself to be happy, although his life is full of miseries. Dukkhecha sukhamanina. Right. Such misery of the human life is distinct from the natural, comfortable life enjoyed even by the animals. Right. So no animal is paying any income tax, no animal is paying any, the light bill, any other bill than the human beings. So human beings, by the virtue of excessive passion, they are unable to enjoy life even as otherwise a peaceful animal will enjoy. Text 27. Vaikrutastraya evaite Deva sargascha sattama वैकारिकस्तु यः प्रोक्त कौमारस्तुभ्ययात्मकः. Translation.
O good Vidura, these three last creations and the creation of demigods, the 10th creation, are Vaikruta creations, which are different from the previously described Prakruta, natural creations. The appearance of the Kumaras is both.
So now here there is a difference between Vaikruta and the Prakruta creation. O Vidura, again the word Sattama. O good Vidura, these last three creations and the creation of the demigods, the 10th creation, are the Vaikruta creation. So the 9th one is the creation of the human beings and the 10th is creation of the demigods. These are Vaikruta creations, whereas the different, which are different from the previously described Prakrita natural creations, the appearance of Kumaras is the both. So now appearance of the Kumaras, how it is both? It will come later when there is appearance of the Kumaras, right? Text 28-29. Devasargaschastvidho vibudha pitaro sura gandharvapsara siddha yaksharakshansi charana bhuta preta pishashascha vidyadra kinnaradayah dashaite vithurat khyata sargaste vishvasukruta. Translation.
The creation of the demigods is of the 8 varieties. The demigods, the second forefathers, the asuras or demons, the gandharvas and apsaras or angels, the yakshas and rakshasas, the siddhas, charanas and vidyadharas, 7 the bhutas, pretas and pishachas, and 8 the superhuman beings, celestial singers, etc. All are created by Brahma, the creator of the universe. Purport. As explained in the second canto of Śrīmad-Bhāgavatam, the Siddhas are inhabitants of Siddhaloka, where the residents travel in space without vehicles. At their mere will, they can pass from one planet to another without difficulty. Therefore, in the upper planets, the inhabitants are far superior to the inhabitants of this planet in all matters of art, culture, and science, since they possess brains superior to those of human brains. The spirits and jinn mentioned in this connection are also counted among the demigods because they are able to perform uncommon functions not possible for men.
Now this is the creation of the demigods. And the demigods creation is Ashtavidha, of the 8 different types. Devasarga, Ashtavidho. Devasarga means Sarga is creation. Devasarga is the demigod's creation. Devasargo, Ashtavidho, of 8 types. And which are the 8 types? Vibudha, demigods, Pitaraha, forefathers, Asura, Gandharva, Apsara, Siddha, Yaksha, Rakshamsya Charana, Bhuta Pretascha Pishascha, Vidyagra, Kinnaradaya, Dashaite. So these are the 8 types, right? Demigods, forefathers, Asuras, or the demons, Gandharvas, Apsaras, angels, Yakshas and Rakshas, Siddhas, Charanas, Vidyadharas, Bhutas, Pretas, Pishachas, and the superhuman beings. They are all created by Brahmaji. In the purport, Srila Prabhupada says, at times, even the Bhuta, Preta, Pishacha, spirits and jinns, they are also counted amongst the demigods because they are able to perform uncommon functions. Like we see that Maya Danav, right? Performing such amazing Maya Sabha. Or later we see that, there is an extensive description of the Asuras and Pishachas. They are having a different kind of capabilities which humans do not have. So these are all superhumans, and they may be evil like demons and asuras. They may be good like devatas, but they are all superhuman categories. Okay. So siddhas, especially Prabhupada says, the inhabitants are siddhaloka. And these are the residents who can travel in space without vehicle, right? They don't need SpaceX. They don't need any international space station or something like that. And you just go there and get stuck up for 9 months, unable to come down. They can travel to any planet, right? Simply by their will. Prabhupada says, merely will, they can pass from one planet to another. and they are far superior inhabitants in the matter of art, culture, and science, and possesses brain far superior to those of human beings. So these are the Siddha Lokas. They are the Siddha. Siddha means they have become Siddha, and they can do many great activities, having the Ashtasiddhis at their command. Text 30. Atah param pravakshami vamshan manavantaraणि च evam rajaplutas srishtva kalpadi shvatma bhurharihi srujjeta mogha sankalpa atmaivanatmanatmana. Translation.
Now I shall describe the descendants of the Manus.
The Creator, Brahmā, as the incarnation of the passion mode of the personality of Godhead, creates the universal affairs with unfailing desire in every millennium by the force of the Lord's energy. Purport: the cosmic manifestation is an expansion of one of the many energies of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. The Creator and the Create are both emanation of the same Supreme Truth and state in the beginning of the Bhagavatam, Janmadi Asyam Yataha. Thus, the end of Bhakti Vedanta purport of the 3rd canto, 10th chapter of the Śrīmad-Bhāgavatam, entitled Division of the Creation.
So, thus I shall describe now the descendants of the Manus, Vamsha Manvantarāణi cha. The Creator Brahma, as the incarnation of mode of passion of the personality of Godhead, creates the universal affairs with unfailing desires. Unfailing desires, look at the word, beautiful word. This is one of the name of the Lord. Very, very amazing name. Amogha Sankalpa. Right. Amogha Sankalpa means his Sankalpa never goes in vain. Prithvi Tyache Yada Nagaradigram Sarvatra Prachar Hoive Moranam. So when Chaitanya Mahaprabhu says this, entire creation will adjust to the will of the Lord, and therefore the Lord is called as Amogha Sankalpa, the Lord of unfailing desires. And so in the purport, Srila Prabhupada writes, so next what is going to come is Manvantarani Vamshaha, the dynasties of the Manu. The cosmic manifestation is the expansion of one of the many energies of the Lord. The Creator and the created are both emanations of the same Supreme, and therefore the Lord is called as Janmadi Yasya Yataha, that from whom everything takes Janma, the original start of everything. So this is how we conclude that 3rd canto, 10th chapter of Śrīmad-Bhāgavatam, divisions of creation. So this is how the 10th chapter is complete. The 10th chapter got over really very fast actually. So tomorrow we'll conclude here, and tomorrow we'll continue with 11th chapter. Just wanted to know one small thing. I have, because certain basic notes I make. Of course, the notes I underline on the book and whatever I write on the book is different than what small notes I'm making about the flows and the connections. This is very heavily reference from our Subodhani series by His Grace Gaurang Darshan Prabhu. He's like the awesome in Śrīmad-Bhāgavatam studies. But I'm posting all that in LinkedIn. Chapter 9th I posted. Chapter 10th I'm planning to post like that, so that we can easily refer. Is there any better way than this? I was thinking Twitter or LinkedIn, where you can text. Social media publication is possible on Twitter and LinkedIn, but Twitter has their own limits, and that's why I was thinking of LinkedIn. If anybody has any thoughts, please let me know. Yeah. So we will conclude here and continue tomorrow. Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Gaura Bhakta Vrinda ki jai. Thank you, Prabhupada. Thank you, everyone. Hare Krishna.
Prabhupada ki jai.
Thank you, Prabhupada.
Thank you, Prabhupada.
Thank you, Prabhupada. Thank you, Prabhuji. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, Prabhu. Small clarification.
There a question
Prabhu, here the Prabhupada writes, translation is the Creator Brahma as incarnation of passion in the passion mode of the personality of Godhead with unfailing desires. So why would he say unfailing desires?
This is the adjective to the Lord. Lord is Amogha Sankalpa.
Okay, it's not about Brahma because it
It is
says
not about Brahma. It is about the Supreme Lord.
because
He is
Brahma
Amogha Sankalpa.
regards efforts with unfailing desires. If you remove
Yeah.
the Brahmas,
हरे कृष्णा मेरा एक क्वेश्चन है
Hare Krishna. Yes, Mataji.
सिद्धार्थ चारणास एंड विद्याधर सब सेम है क्या ये
No, these are different people. So
Okay.
Siddhartha are having, all the siddhis. Then there is a difference of what is a Kinnara, Gandharva, Yaksha, and Charana. So we'll see this tomorrow. There is a subtle difference. Like Gandharvas, they are they are very good singers. Yes. So that's why you see Bala Gandharva, Savai Gandharva. That's where the Gandharvas come from. But then there is also a slight difference. Like Gandharvas can joke very well on a person who doesn't have the quality, and still they can joke. Like that it is. Okay. And generally they are very good people. Yakshas, they are like, sometimes they can become very crooked. And that pastime will come in Dhruva Maharaj attacking the Yakshas. He's saying enough of the Yakshas, and they attack Yakshas. Right. So Charana and Vidyadhara, so they are also a different type. And there are again Vinayakas are there. We will see tomorrow one liner about each of these. Right.
Thank you,
Yeah,
Prabhuji.
thank
Hare
you,
Krishna.
everyone. Thank you, Prabhupada. Thank you,